incredible sight in Winnipeg tonight. Fans continuing to file into IG Field for the first CFL game in 620 days. Now, before kickoff, it is time to introduce you to the song of the season. It is called What You're Made Of by Stephen Lee Olsen.
It's a joy to be back here in Canada, man. Getting back with my brothers, getting back with the coaches, and just having football back. You already know results speak louder when you get wilder, baby.
What makes you wake up in the morning? What's your 10,000 hours? Would you give your life for it? Is that voice getting louder? Everybody's got a dream that nothing's getting in the way.
What's up, family?
But in the moment where you hold back, show what you're made of and how bad you are. When the stakes are high and the lights are on you and the weight of the world's on your back, do you dig your boots on it? Under pressure in overtime, felt strong enough to hold the line in the final round. Are you backing down or finding out what you're made of? Ooh, what you're made of. Tell me what keeps you breathing, what keeps feeding your fire, what's your one good reason why you keep climbing higher. When it's over and you're looking back, will they remember what your name was? In the moment when you hold back to show what you're made of and how bad you are. When the stakes are high and the lights are on you and the weight of the world's on your back, do you dig your boots on it? Why you under pressure in overtime, felt strong enough to hold the line in the final round. Are you backing down or finding
What Canada is right here, right now.
Looking deep and wow, catch! Oh, magnificent! Can you believe that catch?
Everybody got a dream that nothing's getting in the way of. In the moment when you hold back, show what you're made of and how bad you want it. When the stakes are high and the lights are on you and the weight of the world's on your back, do you dig your boots on it? While you're under pressure in overtime, felt strong enough to hold the line in the final round. Are you backing down or finding out what you're made of? What you're made of.
Be ready to go again. Be ready to go again. Touchdown! Oh, what a play!
What you're made of.
Well, it may have taken a little longer than expected, but the 2019 Grey Cup banner will finally be raised in Winnipeg tonight. That's coming up next on the CFL on TSN.
It's a matchup steeped in the rich history of the National Classic. It's been 29 years since Winnipeg last won it all, 2 decades for Hamilton. Who makes history tonight? Here's Andrew Harris, big hole, Harris, touchdown!
The leading rusher in the Canadian Football League, 3 years in a row. And boy, he had a jump to his step.
And it's caught! Touchdown! Andrew Harris in traffic.
They can feel it. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers can taste this. Zach Collaros chipped in with the passes he needed, and their defense dominated.
It is celebration time.
All the haters out there, this is for you.
They have put the win back in Winnipeg. The Blue Bombers, 2019 Grey Cup champions.
IG Field hosting the first CFL game in over 20 months, a rematch of the 107th Grey Cup. I think we can all agree. After the layoff, it is hard not to appreciate this game and what its history means to this country. As mentioned, it is the unveiling of the Grey Cup banner. Let's head there now and join Sarah Orlesky.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Please welcome from TSN, Sarah Orlesky.
Good evening, everyone. It is so great to see so many of you here inside IG Field. Welcome back, Bombers fans. And of course, welcome back to all of the CFL fans watching across the country right now as we get ready to kick off the 2021 season here in Winnipeg. We look forward to not only game one of the season between the Blue Bombers and Hamilton Tiger Cats, but also the opportunity to see the 2019 Grey Cup banner raised here at IG Field. To begin tonight, 150 years ago this week, on August 3rd, 1871, Treaty 1 was signed between Indigenous leaders and the British Crown, representing a remarkable agreement between Indigenous communities and Canadians, and Manitoba's first since Métis leaders led this province into Canada's Confederation in 1870. While Treaty 1 was intended to have all peoples share in the riches and resources of these lands, we have much work to do to heal the injustices of the past and build a brighter future in Manitoba together. In this spirit, and to celebrate these two important milestones, the Winnipeg Football Club would like to recognize that IG Field is located on Treaty 1 land, traditional territories of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Oji-Cree, Dakota, Lakota, and Dene peoples, and resides in the homeland of the Métis Nation. They commit to a spirit of reconciliation and collaboration, and dedicate to move forward in partnership with one another in all they do. Now, as a part of this commitment, we draw your attention, please, to the south side of the stadium, where the club proudly will fly the Métis flag and the Treaty 1 flag in their home field to honor these important milestones. Please join us as representatives from the Manitoba Métis Federation and Treaty 1 raise the flags on behalf of all in the community. When the Blue Bombers won the Grey Cup back in November 2019, no one could have predicted what was to come. And over the past 20 months, Blue Bomber fans have been waiting for the chance to get back together to celebrate the unveiling of the first championship banner at IG Field. I ask you to turn your attention to the video boards.
COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic.
It is now official. Canada has its first confirmed case of coronavirus.
The CFL season has been officially called off.
The moment surrounding the announcement when I found out, it was extremely sad. One of the saddest days I've had in a long, long time. Like everybody else, you move forward and get on board to working towards a plan for 2021.
Baby,
welcome the president and CEO of the Winnipeg Football Club, Wade Miller.
Welcome back to IG Field. It's been too long. This championship banner is for each Blue Bomber fan in this stadium, Manitoba, and across this country. I ask you to turn your attention to the south end and let's unveil this banner and then let's play some football.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome head coach Orlando Steinauer and the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Actually, you know what? Let's bring out the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Hit records on my demo. Did y'all boys not get the memo? I do not stay at the Intercontinental. And anything I got is not a rental. I own that mom. Figure it out, it's simple. I stopped it going up like a crescendo. A bunch of handshakes from the face. But I do not want to be friends though. I tell y'all, mom, man, it's not a love song. This a stripper on a big rug song. This was forever hold it blood song. Pop some champagne in the tub song. Just because song. What's the mood? Can I tell the truth? If I was doing this for you, then I have nothing left to prove. Nah, this for me though. I'm just trying to stay alive and take care of my people. And they don't have no award for that. Trophies. Trophies. And they don't have no award for that. Don't come with trophies. Ain't no envelopes though. Not just do it cause I'm supposed to. I go to dreams with a suitcase. I got the whole country on the runway. From the inside, stay. So big I haven't seen the boys in 2 days. I use a walkie-talkie just to get a beverage. I saw my parents split up right after the wedding. They told my ass to stay committed. The credit. Checking numbers, I'm the one who really get it. I told my mom, this is what I'm champagne in a ton song. Just because song. What's the mood? Can I tell the truth? If I was doing this for you, then
And now head coach Orlando Steinauer and the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
just trying to stay alive and take care of my people. And they don't have no award for that. Trophies. Trophies. And they don't have no award for that.
And now, please rise if you are able, remove your hats, and welcome Jennifer Hansen for the singing of O Canada.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Hello, Canada. We've been waiting a long time to say it, and never have two words meant so much. Welcome back.
Canadian football is back, and it is emotional in this building right now, I can tell you that. Zach Collaros was the final piece of the puzzle in the 2019 campaign, the championship season for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Great career numbers. Many in these parts wondering what can he do with a full season. It starts tonight.
Jeremiah Masoli. Last time he played 2 years ago, suffered a injury, out for the season. Dane Evans took over. He's the starter tonight for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And of course, the last time these two teams met, they met for the Grey Cup in 2019.
Coach Orlando Steinauer, the coach of the year, led the Hamilton Tiger Cats to 15-win season, more than any season in Ticat history. And Michael O'Shea gets another Grey Cup ring.
Goosebumps here tonight as we watch that pregame ceremony. The banner unfurling here at IG Field, the first banner of its type. It's been a long time. And it's the longest reigning Grey Cup champions, because last year was wiped out, of course, because of the pandemic. A season was wiped out. A league was shut down. And now, together tonight, the Canadian Football League rises up.
Yeah, you really get the feeling, don't you, Rod, that this is more than a football game for sure. The emotion in the stands, the banner here in Winnipeg, the 11th championship. But maybe more than that, everyone's together, hugging each other. You can hug your grandmother. You can cheer for your favorite team.
We can shake your hand.
We can shake
hands. And the good news is everyone is here tonight. The fans are here tonight. All showing their vaccination passports beforehand. Had to show that before they came in. And we've got a full house here. Janarian Grant is back. It's been 620 long days. Hamilton Tiger Cats are going to kick off the 2021 season. Let's play football again. The CFL is back. Janarian Grant from his 20 after the kick from newcomer Taylor Berlin, the Tiger Cats. And here comes Zach Collaros. And Collaros, all he did when he came at the trade deadline for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers was win.
Yeah, 4-0 in the regular season for Winnipeg. Then, of course, that postseason run that culminated against the Hamilton Tiger Cats and the championship. But Zach spent his offseason improvising and figuring out how to continue to train with all the protocols that were in place.
First give in the backfield is to Brady Oliveira, taking for Andrew Harris tonight, who is out with injury.
Won't be a long-term injury, according to his head coach, Michael O'Shea, but they are being very careful. There's the O-line up front, and if you've watched Bomber football, you've seen Stanley Bryant, Jamarcus Hardrick on the edges. Be a good matchup to watch against Jagarrett Davis and Julian Hauser tonight. There's the receiving core. Oliveira in the starting tailback position for Andrew Harris, and what a championship for Harris 2 years ago now.
Tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Expedia. Collaros going deep here for Kenny Lawler. Tip drill. And it could have been intercepted, so a very quick 2 and out for the defending Grey Cup champions. Will have to boot the football away.
You see Lawler on this post route, he's just going to get some inside leverage, but he does a nice job of making sure that this isn't intercepted, because the newcomer in the secondary, Channing Stribling is in better position, and Lawler knocks it out of his hands.
New kicker for the first time in quite some time for the Blue Bombers. Justin Medlock not here. Mark Leggio, a 42-yard kick for Frankie Williams. New number this year for the most outstanding special teams player from 2019. Goes from 37 to 1. Said he just wanted a single digit.
Well, let's take a look at the Hamilton offense, and here comes Jeremiah Masoli. It was a great competition in training camp between he and Dane Evans, who of course finished the season. Masoli in week 7 against this Winnipeg Blue Bomber team. Lost the rest of the year to injury back in 2019. I like the decision. Coach O going with Jeremiah Masoli. Said the competition was great. They were both leaders for this football team, but he thought Masoli had paid the price. He had worked his way and paid his dues to get to that starting spot. Threw for over 5,000 in 18. Was on pace for a career best in 19 before the injury. He'll lead the Ticats tonight and in the near future.
You saw that return taken back because of a holding call, so lost significant yardage. And Sean Thomas Erlington, last time he played, also a couple of years ago, went out with a leg injury. Willie Jefferson making that first play. Here's the Ticat O-line.
Okay, so Chris Van Zyl, the veteran offensive lineman for Hamilton, you know that name. He is out, and again, not long-term. So Kate Okafor will play that spot. MOP Brandon Banks in the receiving corps. Star-studded event tonight. We've got a lot of the stars out here.
Oh, everything's shining tonight. 2nd and 8. Masoli, first pass to Brandon Banks. The most outstanding player of 2019. His first touch of 2021 gets a first down for the Cats.
MOP season, over 1,500 yards. You go back to the 2019 season, and you know, oftentimes the MOP gets a lot of weight put on the quarterback position, as it should, but when you have the type of season that Banks had in 19, it's a no-brainer. MOP is back.
9-yard pickup, first down, Masoli. Chucking it to the near side here for David Ungerer. The Cats are now without Luke Tasker, who has retired and is working with the Hamilton Tiger Cats broadcast unit. Braylon Addison not playing tonight. Here is the D-line, and this is an award-winning D-line too.
Well, that's the Kay Okafor matchup with maybe the most dominant player in the last 3 years on defense. He'll have days.
That's trouble.
So that's going to be
trouble.
A problem. Yeah, and you take a look at the secondary. Some newcomers back there. We'll get into that as the game goes on.
Play action, Masoli. Looks like it could have been caught. Was it? Yes, they signal a catch from Jalen Acklin. Jalen Acklin, all he did a couple of years ago, the Western Illinois product, was catch footballs in his rookie season.
Well, a lot of weapons for Jeremiah Masoli. And
another first down, high snap, turns and hands it off to Sean Thomas Erlington. And STE, the former Montreal Carabin, who had such a great start and then derailed by injury, back in the backfield again for the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Important in protection, especially with those two defensive ends for the Bombers, Jackson Jeffcoat and the man I mentioned, Willie Jefferson. Again, there's more pure pass rush. Charleston Hughes, lots of guys that can play defense in this league, but to me, number 5 is the most dominant defensive player of the last 3 years.
Blue Bombers look to rush 3, drop back, and passing now is Masoli, and caught again by Brandon Banks right in front of Josh Johnson. And Brandon Banks, 2 targets, 2 catches, 24 yards for Speedy B.
Well, 2 things here. One, the mobility and the ability to throw on the run from Masoli. Rolling to his left as a right-handed quarterback is awful difficult. He makes it look easy, but the adjustment by the MOP and Brandon Banks to run under that one, that was thrown high to the outside shoulder to avoid the defender, and Banks ran it down.
An offense that was clicking on every cylinder 2 years ago with Masoli or Dane Evans right out of the chute, going deep down that far sideline to the end zone. Oh, it's caught for a touchdown. Jalen Acklin, what a catch, what a play, what a start for the Tiger Cats.
many that talked about throughout the month the return of Canadian football thought that it may be a little sloppy out of the gate without a preseason, shortened camps, different type of protocols.
Did they see the Hamilton Tiger Cats? Did they see the Hamilton Tiger Cats on that drive?
I don't see any rust in this Hamilton offense. They just went 5 for 5, 84 yards and a touchdown to Jalen Acklin, and what a throw and catch down the rail.
Talk about shaking off rust, too. Masoli hasn't played in 2 years.
He looks great.
It's fabulous so far. What a start. They'll go for 2. Masoli again. Deep to the end zone. Nobody home that time. But a first strike, a few strikes. Jeremiah Masoli. Couple of catches by Acklin. Masoli looks good. Cats look good. How about this touchdown? Welcome back, Canadian Football League fans. It is good to be back.
Our quarterback on the panel called this one. There's the newcomer in the secondary, Alford, and this is the matchup on the touchdown throw. Jalen Acklin just down the sideline, and he's just going to run right by him. The coverage pretty good. He's in position, but the ball thrown so well from Jeremiah Masoli, just no chance to get there. And with Winnipeg dropping the most dominant player, as I mentioned, in CFL in the last few years, Masoli knows he doesn't have the pressure on him on that play, takes that extra second and drops a dime in there.
This ball, the kick, drops into Janarian Grant, looking for a few blocks on that far side. Pretty good return. Nice starting point for Zach Collaros, and the Blue Bombers will try to avenge that. First touchdown of 2021, our first touchdown in a long time in the Canadian Football League, goes to Jalen Acklin.
Great playoff run for Acklin.
That's probably the easiest.
That Grey Cup really sort of emerged in the back half of the season and through the postseason, and well, they look good on offense. That Hamilton start was excellent.
Oh, Zach Collaros. Blitz comes. A little crossing pattern for Sheed Bailey. Came to this Bomber lineup late last year out of Delaware Valley. Here's the defense that sets up for the Ticats.
So there's the matchup. Jagarrett Davis and Hauser off the edges against Stanley Bryant. Jamarcus Hardrick. We'll watch that a little bit in game inside the game. Key on defense for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and the leader of this group is Simoni Lawrence, and he is back. Javon Santos Knox we know about, and we'll talk about as the game goes on. Some newcomers in the secondary.
Oh, that was a dangerous toss. Ciante Evans.
Not him. He's new to Hamilton.
Yeah, no, exactly.
New to Hamilton.
Ciante Evans almost had his first interception as a Cat.
But not new to the Canadian Football League, and there's a big difference there, because you can bring the guys together. This is the intended target in the slot position on the outside, and Ciante Evans just reads the mail here. He comes out of his break coming downhill before the ball is thrown.
Leggio the kick to Williams. Cornered right here at the 45-yard line on a 31-yard kick. Jeremiah Masoli back at it when we come back. The season opener in Winnipeg. It has been such a long journey, such a challenge in this pandemic that is still not over, but we are not here tonight. We are not anywhere in Canada without our frontline workers, our nurses, our first responders, our doctors, our true heroes.
Our scientists, I will add to that as well, that worked to come up with this vaccine, and absolutely, these are the true heroes. This is why we're getting closer and closer to normal. This is why we're watching Canadian football again and coming together to do so. So on behalf of everyone in the Canadian Football League, on behalf of TSN and all of our crews, man, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts for rushing in and being at the front edge of the hurricane when everybody else was hunkering down at home.
Yeah, thank you so much. We salute you. 2nd and 1 for Thomas Erlington. Let's face it, sports is such a nice reprieve. It's nice to have games. We watch the Olympics. Sports has been opening up. We saw it last year when the NBA closed down, and the CFL, one of the few leagues that completely shut down their season.
Well, it unites us. It's really as simple as that. And wear your favorite team colors, and whether you're watching at home or right here in IG Field, you're bringing us all together.
First and 10 again for the Tiger Cats. Have been impressive. Masoli. And that is his first incompletion. Didn't have anybody home, and I think that is second incompletion for Jeremiah Masoli on that toss. Also was a dangerous one.
Well, Jeremiah Masoli was in a good competition with Dane Evans in the training camp and through the practices, and he talked on a Zoom call with us this week about that competition, and I loved his answer. He said, listen, we acknowledged it. We acknowledged that we were in a competition, but we're teammates first, and we're trying to master Tommy Condell's system. That's the goal, and he looks sharp out of the gate, even with that incompletion.
Throwing again, second and 10, far side. Not this time. Marcus Tucker is brought down. And also going down is Josh Johnson on that tackle. And he is going to need some assistance from some teammates to bring him to the near sideline. But it will be third down, and the Tiger Cats will have to give the ball away.
I don't know about you, but I had to take 3 or 4 tries at my tie tonight.
Hasn't put one on in a while?
Well, it's not sweatpants. And,
no, it isn't.
So finally got that right.
No running shoes?
Boy, it feels good. It feels good to be around these fans and around this game again.
It is so great to be back. And that ball caught at the very last moment.
Yeah, it's good.
33-yard kick. Blue Bombers trying to get a spark here. Slow out of the gate on their opening night.
Myrna Nagy of Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. This is your chance to win big thanks to Save On Foods' $1 million touchdown to win. If a kickoff is returned for a touchdown, you could win groceries for a year. If 2 kickoffs are returned for a touchdown in this game, you could also win $1 million. Come on, Myrna. Let's get back to Rod and Glenn.
No yards call, 15-yard penalty. Smart play by Noah Hollett for the Blue Bombers, giving them first down near their 30-yard line. Zach Collaros trying to get things cooking here. Swings it out to Charles Nelson, a little stutter step, and they try to rip the ball away from him. Gets about half the first down yardage, maybe a little more here tonight.
Get a little more success on first down will help get this Winnipeg offense rolling. But clearly missing last year's Grey Cup MVP and outstanding Canadian.
No Andrew Harris tonight. Eddie Oliveira in the backfield. Protection this time. Collaros whips one out to the far side for Nick Dembski. And that's a Blue Bomber first down.
Just an outstanding season for Andrew Harrison. And again, he won't be out long. They're just being real careful with him, of course. But when you look back at that run in the playoffs and the Grey Cup championship, he really took control of that game. And not only did the Bomber defense, but Andrew Harris, 18 carries, over 100 yards, couple of touchdowns in the championship. First time ever. MOP and outstanding Canadian won by the same player.
Couple of touchdowns, couple of trophies as well. Here's Dembski. They swing it out. Dembski again close to another first down. A little more rhythm now for Collaros and company. 9-yard pickup.
Yeah, and we're all excited to watch Brady Oliveira, and then this is going to be another hometown guy. Hometown hero replaces hometown hero, and I'm not taking anything away from that, but he's got to find his...
Winnipeg, number 6, 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
This one's coming back. He's just got to find his footing and get settled into the game. His first start, real excited for him and his family. But man, he's a player, and he's going to have a great future. He just has to stick with it and learn from the guy who's missing this one tonight.
There he is, Andrew Harris. Oliveira and Harris share great lineage, same high schools. So too Nick Dembski out of Oak Park. Oliveira also fractured his leg 2 years ago, early in the season. Collaros now with a feint, and now he takes off and look close down the sideline, and there goes Dembski, and he tripped up near the 30-yard line.
Oh, baby, this right here is why Zach Collaros was the last piece of the puzzle for the Bombers last year, and why he is so good at that starting quarterback position. When it breaks down, his ability to improvise a 49-yarder. Dembski does some work at the top end of it. Question was he crossed the line of scrimmage?
Yeah.
He was very close on that throw.
Very, very close. Walk the tightrope. 49-yard pickup. Blue Bombers threatening now. 6-0 Cats here. First quarter. Sidearm to Nelson. And he's tackled right there by Channing Stribling, our Michigan Wolverine. So it'll be second down now for Winnipeg.
Claris told us on the Zoom call we had this week that the reason he was really excited about coming to Winnipeg was their head coach. And he said, you know, listen, with Michael O'Shea as the head coach of this football team, I knew things would be done right. I just wanted to come in and learn and contribute. And what a contribution he made. 4-0 in the regular season, the run in the playoffs, and a championship after that long drought for Bomber fans.
Collaros, great protection here all day. Still got time. Goes end zone. Open man. Touchdown, Winnipeg. Kenny Lawler. Brings the fans to their feet. And the Bombers into that front row.
Well, we missed that, didn't we?
Yes, we did. They missed it here in Winnipeg. Kenny Lawler, first touchdown for Winnipeg in 2021. A 25-yard strike from Collaros, and he was wide open behind cover.
When the quarterback breaks contain and gets outside, it breaks down your defense. Lawler in behind coverage. Collaros gets him on track.
And one of the stories for Winnipeg, Justin Medlock, a future Hall of Fame kicker, not with the Bombers this year, stepped aside from the games. Tyler Krapinja, former Rider and Argo last year, and McMaster Marauder, his first kick as a Blue Bomber. The convert is good, and the Champs have a 1-point lead thanks to Collaros to Lawler. A touchdown strike on night one, game one, 2021. First quarter, opening night, 7-6 Winnipeg. To the sideline we go. Here's Sarah Orlesky.
Rod, do you think about how important veterans are in any game, even more so in this season right now when you think about the fact, especially early on, there's no preseason action. So you have a number of players in this game that have never played in the Canadian Football League before or have little experience. One of the key players in the Hamilton Tiger Cats defense remains Simone Lawrence. He's been there since 2013. He continues to set the tone. He feels it's one of his responsibilities as a veteran. And if you're wondering, because he was known for being a talker beforehand, that certainly hasn't changed despite the year off. And for the Bombers on the defensive side of the ball, Adam Bighill continues to set the tone. Two-time Defensive Player of the Year. Mike O'Shea joked that Adam would even make him look good out there right now in his current athletic state, but he said that John Trell Rothmore, who's lined up beside Bighill, will have no issues. The rookie is in good hands with Bighill helping lead the way.
Biggie does lead the way. Here's Frankie Williams on the kick from Legio, and he zigzags his way up to the 37-yard line, a pickup of 22 on the return.
Let's go back to the touchdown to Kenny Lawler. He's not going to be in this picture. They put trips into the right side of the field here, but he's not one of them. He's outside, and I'll show you when he gets into the spot. Here we go. Collaros drops back, and now he's going to buy some time. Stop it here. See, this is the scramble rule. Lawler on the crosser. As soon as he scrambles, he turns it up, and that turns the secondary around. They start chasing, and he's in behind coverage. And did you see that?
Stuff going on early on here tonight. I will tell you one thing, Suits, is the sloppiness or maybe a scrambly type of so-called preseason game that some might have anticipated doesn't look like it, does it?
No, it doesn't. And, you know, one of the reasons for that is that in a preseason game, there are a ton of rookies playing.
A lot of players.
Yeah, you're throwing a lot of the new guys all out there together, and then it can become a little bit sloppy. These are veteran star players that have looked sharp right out of the game.
And there's a little angst from that visiting team still with a bitter taste of what happened 620 days ago. Masoli, loads of time. Crossing pattern again for Ackland right in front of the first down marker.
There's some questions. We talk about Okafor at one tackle, Tate at the other. He's a newcomer as well. And that was great protection up front. Let's just take a look at that offensive line. Just Sean Thomas Erlington picking up his men. Great pickup there on the outside on the linebacker, and gives Masoli tons of time to sit in that pocket and throw a strike to the outside.
Hamilton third and a long one, deciding not to go for it, so they will kick it away.
It's a good sign, though, for Hamilton's offense, because that was a matchup I was really going to hone in on. Jackson, Jeffcoat, and Jefferson against the tackle.
New punter, Joel Whitford for Hamilton from Australia. 48-yard kick. Grant makes one miss and then is brought down near the 30-yard line with a minute 28 to go in this opening quarter. We've had some lightning already here tonight from Collaros and Masoli, both operating at a high efficiency.
Let's remind Bomber fans of just what he brought to the table when he showed up in Winnipeg. Of course, you look at the bottom there, he went 4-0, so did not lose a game in the regular season. He gets in there. Darvin Adams, you see a little bit of those improvisation skills as he can make things happen when the protection breaks down a little bit, when he's on the run and moving around with his eyes downfield. And we've seen an example of that again here tonight.
Darvin Adams not in the lineup. That's one of the missing pieces for the Blue Bombers. Both of these teams missing some key components early in the season. It was Mike O'Shea who told us also in our Zoom call earlier this week that he would be a puddle and full of emotion. He said, it's the Irish in me. I don't care. I'm gonna let it rip, he said. And I'm sure there was a lot of emotion on that sideline tonight.
There was, and there was up here too. I can guarantee you. I was trying to keep it together, but he's in game form now.
He's back.
He's back. Yeah, he was in the ear of the official right there.
There was an unnecessary roughness call on that kick return. That puts the Bombers back in a hole, and Oliveira also brought down in the backfield. So this field is suddenly much longer for this Blue Bomber offense. So we creep inside the last minute of this opening quarter on opening night.
Renzo Malden he was in the backfield.
It's like almost in their huddle.
Yeah.
Malden out of Louisville, former Jets draft pick, National Football League. So 2nd and 13. Collaros is sending them all out. And he'll roll and look, and now comes back, and there's that improvisation. Look at him go here, dancing now and running and sprinting. Nobody there now. Finds a receiver, but it's incomplete. As Dempsey, he was running all over. That looked like an Olympic 400-meter race there for Zach Collaros.
Well, and Cam Kelly, newcomer in the Hamilton linebacking core, is one of those tweener type players who has to come all the way back. Now, keep in mind, as Collaros is doing this, the secondary and coverage people are chasing all over the field trying to find guys. It's like a scramble drill back there. So he gets outside, and now Dembski's coming back, and Cam Kelly cuts underneath it.
Frankie Williams catches that on the fly on the kick from Leggio. Great field position for the final play of the opening quarter, barring penalty, for Masoli and the Cats. Well, tomorrow night, CFL on TSN. First Friday night football. Suits, presented by the Brick, Lions, and the Rough Riders. 8 Eastern, 9 Eastern rather, 6 Pacific, only on TSN tomorrow night. Great matchups. Just great to have football back north of the border.
Sellout tonight. It'll be a sellout tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Six seconds left here in this opening frame. Some high-wire offense already, and a couple of quarterbacks getting some protection and getting out on the run, too. Big man, Willie Jefferson. Masoli turns and hands to Thomas Erlington, and Willie Jefferson was right there. That's the first quarter on opening night. Good quarter for both teams. Cats strike first, Bombers strike back. The convert separates these two teams. Commissioner Randy Ambrosie is here in Winnipeg. He will join us when we come back on opening night of the brand new CFL season. '21 CFL season off to a flying start. Here are the numbers. Both quarterbacks putting up some good numbers through the air. The Bombers lead 7-6 here at IG Field in the Manitoba capital. So happy to have the commissioner of the Canadian Football League, Randy Ambrosie, here. So nice to see you. I think it's so nice to see everybody, but needless to say, you must feel like it's New Year's Day here today.
Oh, it's a lot of holidays rolled into one. You know, I woke up this morning, just went, oh my goodness, this is what we've been hoping for and wanting for a long time. And so happy for the players. Look, this building is just rocking tonight. The fans are just thrilled. I was here early. You know, they were standing outside. They just wanted to get into the building and watch them some CFL. And how exciting is that? And to see the two of you, you're just as good looking as I remember the last time we were together. So that's good.
So Randy, your eyesight's gone on you in the last 620 days. Stay with us, Commish, as Masoli goes back to work over the top and close to a first down.
Randy, everyone that I've talked to, the players, the coaches, Michael O'Shea, all of them, they're all saying the same thing, and I feel it too. This feels like more than just a football game. As important as it is for all of football in our country, more than just a football game.
Yeah, Glenn, I feel the same way. I've been feeling that way for a while. It's like in a way we've elevated our identity, that we are an important part of this country, and this feels important tonight. It's going to feel important all season. And in Hamilton in December, it's going to again be a way to have a national celebration that we together, have come through this crisis.
Brandon Banks with that last reception, second down, 7-yard pickup. Masoli swinging it out again. Brandon Banks will pick up the first down. You know, your job came with a lot of descriptions when you took over, dealing with players, contracts, the league, hoisting the Grey Cup. There never was something about a pandemic. How challenging has that been for you and the league office over the last year?
Yeah, it has been. I'd be disingenuous to suggest that it's been fun. At times it wasn't fun at all. But we've been surrounded by really great people. Wade Miller here in Winnipeg is just example of one of our presidents. They all do work so hard.
After the play was over and the first down had been made, objectional conduct, Hamilton number 16. We go back 10, but we are first down.
Glenn and I never got objectional conduct penalties, so we don't understand that particular. But it's been tough. But we've had really, really great people here that work together. A great league office team, and frankly, our governors. And here now we're back, and it's it was worth the struggle to get to here tonight.
So talk about some of these new protocols, because you've just sort of in the week just leading up to game 1 here talked about the vaccinations, and how have the clubs been with the protocols? And
they've been, Glenn, they've been great. They understand them. They're committed to them. They all know that we've got to keep COVID out of the locker rooms, right? They just know that. That's the whole game this year, is keep COVID out of the locker rooms. I think everyone is working together. They've been really good at following the protocols, and we're going to try to, where we can adjust them to make them a little friendlier, we'll do that. But our commitment is December 12th, Grey Cup in Hamilton, all 9 teams having played all 14 games.
It'll be a second and short yardage here. Commissioner Randy Ambrosie, opening night, joining us here in Winnipeg. Masoli loads of time again, sending everybody deep, and will take it himself, tucks it close to a first down. You hear the roar of the fans. That's what we all wanted to hear. How difficult was it? How important was it to put people in seats to get this season going?
Well, it is our league. I mean, we've been saying it, throughout the crisis. We're a bums in the seats league. We're a fans league. It's going to be almost impossible for us. It was impossible for us to play without fans. But, tonight, to be here to see this, you realize why this isn't just an economic issue, but it's part of our game. It's part of who we are, the fans. This is the fans really own this league, and to have them here tonight and excited. And I know tomorrow in Saskatchewan, a sold-out stadium, Calgary and Edmonton. I think it's just going to validate everything.
Well, Randy, I think this is not the time to do a complete forensics analysis on the off-season and some of the discussions that went on. And I've said the whole time that I think it's always great to talk to other leagues, talk to other entertainment entities. But can we agree that leaning into what makes our game great, 3 downs, 12 players, Canadian content, we can all lean into that and celebrate?
Yeah, you know what, I really believe that one of our guys said this several months ago. Longer, wider, faster. Longer, wider, faster is what makes our game so special. And I think that's what I really believe this league is. You watch this game so far, it's exciting. That longer field, that wider field, that faster field is what makes the CFL so great. And I believe that's the enduring element that we need to make sure is always part of our CFL.
They're going to likely measure this. Longer, wider, faster, and for the Cats shorter on this. Masoli just really had to advance forward.
And he is right at the marker.
Yeah, they're going to bring the sticks out here.
I mentioned about Adam Bighill. He hasn't hit anybody in a long time, so he's got a lot of pent-up energy that he's throwing into that pile.
Looks like they've got it. They have.
First one of those sort of risky calls, I'll say, although it's in plus territory for Coach O to make, to go for it. But he gets a new set and a big run by Jeremiah Masoli.
CFL Coach of the Year back in 2019. Will be an inductee into the Canadian Football Hall of Fame later this year as well. Joining his buddy on this sideline, Michael Shea. He's there already. Oh, there it is. Big Willie. And the first interception of 2021 goes to Willie Jefferson. Commissioner, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Welcome back.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Guys, let's have a great season.
You too. Thank you.
Willie Jefferson with the pick. Masoli into those big arms. And the Bombers have the football.
Versatility from Willie Jefferson off the edge. He does three things here. He gets pressure up the field on Jeremiah Masoli. He gets contained so he can't escape on the outside. He plants his feet, and this is not a called drop for Willie Jefferson. He's just playing ball once the play is snapped, and the ball is snapped, and he just drops underneath
Hey,
it.
man, Mama, I love you. Daddy, Holly Kelly B, can't wait for y'all to get up here, man. It's all love.
Bombers' first takeaway of 2021.
BMT, baby.
Beaumont, Texas native, and look what he did last season, which was a year and a half ago. Look at the knockdowns, sacks, not known for a lot of picks, but he can do it all.
Well, he and Jackson Jeffcoat took over the Grey Cup. I mean, they really did. And then on offense, it was Andrew Harris. But, I mean, Willie Jefferson, 3 sacks in the Cup, stripped fumbles. I mean, made it really, really tough on Dane Evans. Like, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers were sizing for rings in November in 2019. And I asked Mike O'Shea about Jefferson. I said, you were a dominant defensive player too. He said, the variety of plays that he can make is clearly amazing. Play there. but he, he was talking about Willie and said, listen, there's a lot of dominant players. There's dominant pass rushers, dominant linebackers. But when you talk about the variety of plays that Willie Jefferson can make, there's nobody else that can play that kind of ball.
And he's a great character.
Oh, yeah.
One of the most lovable guys you will meet in sports. So Brady Oliveira is starting to put his stamp on this game. Touches. First down. Picks up a few. Oliveira again. When his career began, the North Dakota product a couple of seasons ago was derailed early on by injury and was lost in the Bombers' home opener. The focus there, listening into Collaros. What a great shot from our crew here in Winnipeg. Throwing down, 2nd and 7. Nelson, and that was right into traffic. Knocked away, so the Bombers will kick it away. 9 minutes to go before halftime.
Janet Stribling, the newcomer in the secondary for Hamilton, he was the guy that was turned around on that first Lawler touchdown on the crossing route. I don't know that it was his man, but he was certainly trying to turn and make a play. But as this game's gone on, the young guys will start to figure it out, figure out the pace, and start to make plays of their own.
There's the kick from Woodbridge, Ontario's Mark Leggio, the Western Mustang. It will get a couple of nice bounces for Winnipeg. 48-yard kick for the newcomer. Smoke still in the air from the wildfires, sun setting, but what a night in Winnipeg. Our CFL on TSN season is dedicated to 2 of our teammates that we lost over this last year. Longtime producer Tony Darchie, and of course the big man Chris Schultz. Gone way too soon. Great friends, great teammates, great people. Will never be forgotten, and we dedicate this season in their memory.
Both Darch and Solchi, one behind the camera, one in front of it. Darch, one of our producers. Everybody knows Chris Schultz and the love that both and passion that both had for the Canadian Football League. And
we miss them both so dearly.
And you mentioned, and you said it right, 2 great teammates. And I got to know Schultz even better, not just as a colleague, but as a friend. When we were doing a show that covered NFL Europe in the offseason of the Canadian Football League together in Toronto, and I can tell you that the man's passion for Canadian football, he would not handle anyone that devalued our game. And I will continue that fight in his memory. What a great catch that was down the sideline.
Jalen Acklin is putting on a show here tonight on a pump and go, and Acklin reaches for the sky and comes down with the football.
Great, we're dedicating the season. What a catch and throw, and this could be the start of a great matchup. Masoli, 28-yarder, nice catch. Gaining trust by every time he makes a catch like that with his wide receiver.
Already 90 yards. And receiving in the ball game. Masoli back at work. Hard peg to that right side, and Sean Thomas Erlington takes over the backfield this year for the Cats, a 5-yard gain. The guy who had time to heal. One of the benefits for him for a season that was shut down last year, like Masoli, both he and Masoli got healthier. Masoli up the gut. Just tripped up. Casey Sayles, shoestring tackle.
Another close one here, and possible decision for Coach O. Well, they have taken it back now 1.5 yards, so looks like it'll be about 2, maybe even 3.
Team that was perfect on third down plays back in 2019, the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Well, there wasn't many silver linings, as you mentioned, through the canceled season, but one of them was the fact that guys that were hurt in 19 and playing injured, like Sean Thomas Erlington and Jeremiah Masoli, that were trying to rehab injuries, they had lots of time to do it, and they've got fresh legs.
Whitford. Quickly down is Janarian Grant. When we come back, we'll talk about the local kid, Brady Oliveira. Sarah Oleski has a report on opening night in the Canadian Football League 2021. Brady Oliveira makes his debut as a starting back tonight from North Dakota, but really the hometown kid of Oak Park High School. What a story. Here's Sarah.
Well, Rod, you mentioned it. Oak Park High School, the local product, so you know how much tonight means for him, not only starting in a CFL game, but here in front of friends and family. In 2019, his first season, it was just the second game of the season, the home opener, when he broke his leg and was done for the season. Now, he knows that Andrew Harris isn't going to be out for long. He's obviously the face of the franchise, but Brady's looking to take advantage of the opportunity in front of him. He feels he's mentally making the biggest progression compared to what we saw last season. Now, he said the offensive line has really helped him out a lot because he's been taking so many first-team reps during training camp with Harris sidelined for almost all of it. He feels as if he's very comfortable in this, and offensive coordinator Buck Pierce notices an improvement every day. He says he's becoming more vocal. You can't replace Andrew Harris, but Brady's looking to make an impact here tonight.
Pretty exciting night for the family.
Yes.
Shanny up there. Proud of Brady, and those numbers off the chart that you just threw to Sarah, like that graphic.
Shredded that league.
Yes.
Won a championship. Coming to the near sideline, it's another Oak Park Raider. What a program. Nick Dembski, Andrew Harris, Brady Oliveira playing high school football. You know, there's another thing that we've lost over the last year is kids getting a chance to play from a very young age in high school ball and college ball, and it's so great to see everybody back getting a chance to play again.
You know, kind of what I mentioned to the commissioner, that one of the things that makes this game great, you know, that Brady, throughout the break and the canceled season, works with youth at risk. And there he is up the middle for a nice carry. He works with youth at risk, proud of his community, and now getting a chance to play and given the opportunity to understand the game at the next level, which he's at now. It'll take a little bit of time, but when he gets there, this is going to be a play.
That's what he's doing tonight.
And he's getting into it now.
He
is finding his footing, settling in.
This may come back, though. It looks like it might be offside against the Bombers,
But listen, there's 3 things that make this game great.
Winnipeg, number 51, 10-yard penalty, remains second down.
3 things that make this game great. 3 downs, 12 players, Canadian content. Inclusivity. half of our rosters are Americans for the most part, some international players, and then we have our Canadian talent. And for this year and beyond, they are Canadians to me, no matter what designation is written in any book you read.
And it has been the Canadian Football League. Century now. Life, breath of the league. There's local players like this guy who could become heroes and have nights like he might be having tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Brady Oliveira starting to heat up here. 21-yard pickup.
Oh, and his Canadian head coach, first one over there to celebrate with him on this really nice dump pass. He picks up a lot of yards on his own and breaks the tackle of Simone Lawrence. And Simone Lawrence knows a thing or two about tackling.
Kenny Lawler doing a good job trying to keep Simone at bay. Said Simone's name very much tonight. Go on all night, that's for sure. He had a career night here. Record-breaking night. Oh, look at Collaros now. Scrambling and gets out of the pocket, still on his feet. And a little low that time. That would have been a play like last year against Calgary. Rasheed Bailey couldn't scoop that with one hand. Zach Collaros doing some dancing out there.
Well, yeah, and he doesn't just break the containment and then roll out, or he doesn't just throw on the run. This guy is like a jitterbug in how he improvises and makes things up. I mean, it's impossible for a D lineman to predict how he's going to try and escape.
A lot of training in the Southern Ontario area in the last few months. To a hockey training facility. There's Collaros, the rush on. Has some running room, but he lobs it over the top. Collaros, another completion for Lawler. 3 minutes to go before halftime.
Zach would like to get one more play in before the warning. I think he's trying to get them huddled up quickly here, get them on. Break the huddle, but there it is again. Interesting on the Zoom call, he told us that they are calling the 3-minute warning. We'll come back.
Yeah, hold that.
Hold that thought.
Good story. Zach Collaros, 3-minute warning before halftime. And a 1-point ball game in Winnipeg. Man, these shots are something else tonight. So great to have football back north of the border. Kate Burness, the boys coming up at halftime. 3 minutes away. Zach Collaros, who's been working in that hockey facility, grit training over the last few months, and a lot of those plays were exactly what we just saw in that last play.
Well, it's interesting when he told us how he would improvise, because all the gyms were closed down. I mean, guys couldn't train the way they normally train, even if they had a little more time to do it. So he improvised throwing to some hockey players that were in that facility. He said he threw to empty soccer nets in the corners.
Some NHL players, some junior players.
Now, hockey players
tough
have
to catch with your mitts.
Well, yeah,
hockey gloves,
you got to take the gloves off. But you know, they've got good hands. Yeah. Hockey players have good hands now, so it's not a bad idea. But interesting to hear the stories of how the players and listen,
adapted.
And listen, they've gone through some tough times, as we all have, and there's a lot of people around the world have with this pandemic. But missing a whole season and all those paychecks when you put food on the table with your livelihood being football.
Collaros. And some pressure.
Again.
There he tucks it now, and he takes off, and Zach Collaros slides down near the 30-yard line and beyond. And good recognition. The threshold, the pocket collapsed, and Collaros took off.
It's amazing it's just the small, subtle steps, the little hop up into the pocket. When we talk about managing the pocket, that's what we mean. That little hop helps his tackles, because the tackles can run defensive ends beyond him. He gets a little lane up the middle and 18 yards to keep the drive alive.
Another 2 minutes before the half. On from the Hamilton 30. Rivera in the backfield. Another handoff. He's nowhere to go this time. Change in Winnipeg too, of course. Offensive coordinator Paul LaPolice is now head coach in Ottawa. Buck Pierce has become the offensive coordinator,
which has really worked out well. I mean, Buck was here with Paul LaPolice as well, so this isn't a new coach coming from a different team. And he's, you know, when I talked to Zach about how that's working out and how that relationship has developed, he can't be happier. He just thinks that Buck is such a great communicator, and that's a former quarterback, now coordinator.
Going end zone, Lawler again, and he's got it. Touchdown, Winnipeg. That's 2 tonight for Lawler, both from Collaros. Flag down, but interference. Pass interference against Hamilton. 25. Penalties decline. Score the touchdown. Score the touchdown. Collaros to Lawler again.
Safety blitz picked up in the middle by Drew Wolodarski, and that gives Zach Collaros just enough time to get it to Lawler, his second on the night, and that's a veteran. Third year, Jamal Roll on the wide corner, that Lawler fights and wins the fight for the ball.
11-play, 94-yard drive. Blue Bombers who've got into a bit of a sputtering start here. Down 6-0 and have scored 14 straight. Another convert from Tyler Crapigna.
You know, we shouldn't be surprised because they've been doing it their whole lives. This is what these guys do. They play football, and I'm just noticing the trust that quarterbacks have with their wideouts, with their receivers. It's like mid-season where real good coverage from Jamal Roll is just ignored basically by Zach Collaros. He throws it up. He trusts his receiver to win the battle, and Kenny Lawler delivers for number 8.
Minute 19 for Jeremiah Masoli to answer for the half. Winnipeg offense picking it up. Last time we were in a CFL stadium was in Calgary back in 2019, and these two teams battled. Winnipeg came in as the underdog after that 15-3 Hamilton season. Bombers went on some kind of roll in November, led by Zach Collaros, and Andrew Harris captured the Grey Cup. Unveiled their banner here tonight. You see it in the background. Frankie Williams picks his way to the 40. So it'll be some quick hitters here, some up-tempo now for Masoli, trying to get this in scoring position.
Okay, look, no preseason. Look at, this is Daly, the safety, coming through on the safety blitz on that touchdown, and Wolodarski from the right of your screen, the receiver. This is game 1, first half, and he is on top of his assignments to make that key block to give Zach just enough time to get it out of there.
Arlington is drilled, and Biggie has an impact. What did Mike O'Shea say?
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't think there's a greater compliment a player can get from his head coach than his coach saying that Adam Bighill inspires me every day. How he manages his time and how he maintains his focus every day inspires me.
Pro's pro. Adam Bighill, 2-time outstanding defensive player. Masoli waits, nowhere to go now. Masoli has to improvise, and he better go down. He does. And the Blue Bombers are going to get the ball back. Of all things, just when Hamilton thought they could drive and cut into the lead. The Bombers might be able to extend it here.
You know, we've seen a couple of runs now, though, from Jeremiah Masoli, and that's a good sign. Again, you know, I always wonder about lingering knees, and he had a bad one. But he's made a couple of runs like that, and he is not even thinking about that knee. No brace on it, he's good to go.
Janarian Grant slides left side. 30 seconds remain. Stars lead by 8. Zach Larson, a guy who began his career in Toronto with the Argonauts as a backup. Went to Hamilton, became the starter and the star. He's run into injury problems through the years. Saskatchewan, then that trade to Toronto again, where he didn't play, and then the trade of all trades to Winnipeg at the deadline helped the Blue Bombers win the Grey Cup. Keep it on the ground. Oliveira breaks a tackle. Bucket down, close to a first down. Yards rushing for the local product. Laros, 25 to go, 2nd and 1. We'll get close to that one. They get the first down, they take a shot. Opening night, why not? Or do you take the knee and get ready for the second half? Mike O'Shea a little time to think about what they might do in 20 seconds with chains coming out to measure. Kind of a life-changing time as well for Zach Collaros over this shutdown period. He became a new dad as well. Here's Sierra.
I asked Coach O'Shea, what can you tell me about Zach that we can't see? When you go to work every day and you're in that environment, he says his calm demeanor and leadership skills through the process like I've never seen. Great humility, but understanding that you got to stay calm when the bullets are flying.
Bullets are flying. Get out of bounds, Drew Wolotarski. He does. And maybe time for one more play to get you into field goal position.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
And add 3.
You don't have to take a shot here. You can if you get the right look, but you don't have to take a shot. Intermediate throw gets you into field goal range.
13-yard gain. Pena's got a good leg in his first game as a Blue Bomber. Again, Justin Medlock now. Clock ticks. Collaros sideline once more. Shea Bailey. 7, maybe a quick hitter again. You run one more play. Maybe have time for that, just that one extra shot. Get it closer for Krapinja. There he is.
Yeah, asking you go out and kick this long on your first kick.
His career long is 53. This would be about a 51, 52 yarder. So
quick out.
Quick one. In a hurry. They do, but Mahler incomplete. So 3 seconds remain. Time remains.
Work the sideline, and now you see if you're going to give it a shot. Is it within the range? This is usually where your kicker will go to the head coach, and he'll tell him, "I'm good to go."
Keep in mind, Krapinja was with Montreal. Traded from Toronto, came late to camp for the Blue Bombers. Leggio was the kicker, and they brought Krapinja in to help with the field goals. There's Leggio in the back, who's the punter. So, with 3 seconds, shot is to take it to the end zone. Collaros, spin, and he's going to have to hurl one soon. Look out now, he's going down. Enough dancing says Jagera Davis. Collaros is sacked. The Bombers. Kenny Lawler, 2 touchdowns. Lead 14-6 at the half. Let's send it to Cape Burness and the guys in the studio. CFL on TSN at the half.
All right, thank you very much.
What you're made of and how bad you are when the stakes are high and the lights are on you and the weight of the world's on your back. You dig your boots on in. I do not want to be under pressure in overtime. Built strong enough to hold the line. Backing down or finding out what you're made of.
Back at a full house at IG Field, 14-6 Winnipeg over Hamilton. The guy who got it started for the Cats, Jalen Acklands with Sarah Orlesky.
Jalen, what is it that stood out to you most about that first half of being back?
We didn't. Nothing stood out besides us not executing. We got to execute better on offense, and we got to get consistent drives going.
When you look at the early production that you seem to have in chemistry going with Jeremiah, what does that give you as maybe a starting point to be able to build on for this season?
Yeah, I mean, whenever you have a quarterback like Jeremiah, like personality-wise, it makes it that much easier in the huddle. And you know, him and Dame both have good. I have a good connection with him, so it'll be fine throughout the season. We just got to get things rolling on offense.
Thanks for the time.
Yeah, no problem.
Bombers will kick it off with an 8-point lead. Big turning point as well, that interception by Willie Jefferson when Hamilton was driving, and the Cats will get the ball first. Frankie Williams throws his shoulder, but is then thrown down. Jeremiah Masoli back at it. Great start in his opening drive, and then again that one pick by Jefferson really was the difference in the first half.
Yeah, I thought he looked real sharp coming out of the gate. That first drive was great. There's Ackland down the sideline, had a touchdown in that first quarter, and then the pick from Willie Jefferson seemed to take and push that Hamilton offense off track a little bit. Let's see what adjustments they have made for this second half.
Soli with Thomas Erlington. Little play action. Soli slings it just like he did. Starts it off with Brandon Banks. Slow to get up, but like there was a penalty as well here. This will be negated.
Hamilton, number 16. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Mike Jones on the tackle, offside, and again Brandon Banks kind of grimacing after that hit by Jones.
He was quite animated at the end of that first half, up and down the sideline a little bit. I'm sure he's calmed down from then, and I'm sure Coach always helped him do that, but he was a little bit ahead of the snap right there. Takes that play right off the board.
First and 15. Masoli avoids one. Here come the Bombers. Masoli's going to have to step out of bounds. There was no one downfield. No targets available for Jeremiah that time.
I think you wanted a corner route to Marcus Tucker, and it's to the left of your screen. You probably don't see Tucker in this look. He has it, but because of that flash pressure off the edge at the top, he pulls the ball down and can't release it to Tucker on the corner, and that's where he gets in trouble, and Big Hill runs him out of bounds.
Big second down play.
Well, Tucker was slow to get back to the sideline. He was over here where he ran that corner route. And Masoli looks in the huddle and says, wait a minute, this isn't quite right. So he goes over to coach and says, let's regroup, call the play again, reset.
Thirty-year-old from San Francisco, California. Former Oregon Duck. Longtime Cat. Masoli delivers far side. Jalen Marshall ran into a couple of bodies. And it will be about a yard. Not even that. It looks like, they will move those sticks. It is a first down for Marshall.
4 receiver set to the wide side of the field, and they're moving Brandon Banks around. There's Banks in the middle. He's not the target here. Marshall is, but they're going to move him around. We saw him on the last play at that wide out spot because his presence draws coverage.
Good second effort from Jalen Marshall. Ohio State Buckeye. Sean Thomas Erlington nowhere to roam. Jake Thomas in the middle makes the play, the longest tenured Winnipeg Blue Bomber.
And one of the most underrated players on this team and in the league. I mean, this guy is a playmaker respected by every single one of his teammates and the coaching staff. And, he's one of those players, when we have our meetings and now they're on Zoom, he's one of those players where we haven't asked about him, but the coach brings him up anyway.
Every time. Maritime boy played his college ball at Acadia. Asoli again. Looking, tossing, and Acklin there again. Not this time, though. And on the corner, it's D. Alford. Closes it out in coverage.
See, now the young guys, now the new guys. Sometimes they're not that young, but the Alford is. He's 23 years old. Remember, he got beat in the first half, but he comes back in. He says, now, okay, everybody, no matter who you are and how long you played, that happens to everybody. If you've crossed the stripe, you've had a receiver in behind you as a DB, but he's adjusted, settling in, and a nice play downfield.
The 8th overall pick in the CFL Global Draft. Joel Whitford, punter. In his college ball in Washington out of Australia, flag down. Charles Nelson down too. Another flag after the play. Will sort out those calls high above IG Field, south of the downtown core in Winnipeg. A great night for football. Trying to conquer COVID has been a team game, even for the teams.
Zach Collaros' sister, Lanai, his brother-in-law Adam, first responders. We've talked to a lot of the players about family members who've been at front lines. Coach Daryl, the defensive line, Daryl Patterson, that's his sister Glenda. For Hamilton, Jalen Marshall's mom Angel and his dad Richard, both medical professionals, and Marcus Tucker's aunt Lawanda. And again, we're not playing tonight without you. You're at the front line, putting your lives on the line to save ours, and we really appreciate all that first responders and the healthcare workers in our country and around the world have done. Everybody knows somebody.
Yes, indeed. Everybody's been affected. We all are. All in it together, come out of it together. A lot of penalties there. Piling on penalty. You can see where, when we went to break, Charles Nelson was down about the 20-yard line. You can see where the Bombers scrimmage. So penalties piling up, the piling on, not helping. Zach Collaros back in his office here with an 8-point advantage.
Well, we had the one when the commissioner was up with Brandon Banks. That's the piling on right there. That added 15. But, for the most part, the officials have done a good job. They're trying to get back in the swing of things.
Collaros wants to launch near side, and Kenny Lawler looked like there might have been a tug on that jersey just before that ball reached there from Jamal Roll.
I think Dembski.
Flag on the far side.
Yeah, I think Nick Dembski is a little ahead of the snap there.
Dembski.
Nick Dembski had a great
Offside,
camp.
Winnipeg, number 10, penalties decline. 3rd down.
By all accounts.
Just need that a little bit quicker, guys.
And all reports, You know, great camp for Nick Demski, building on an outstanding season in 19. And you know, when I think about Demski and you talk about veterans, and Demski's been around now, this is year 6 for him in the Canadian Football League. You hear about the vet days. Every camp, the vets have vet days. Vet days are when, you know, you're a little banged up, you're a little tight and sore, so you take a day off.
Well, that's not a good kick. Penalty flag down. There's a scrap behind the play. Little melee that comes to nothing. Cameron Kelly is jostling there.
Okay, right. Nothing here, right?
No vet days for Demski.
No, indeed. Bombers leading. Guess who's always around the ball? Willie Jefferson, one of the most dominant this league has ever seen. Well, we go back almost 2 years. Willie Jefferson put on a show in Calgary at the Grey Cup.
One of the great defensive performances in Grey Cup history, and just not blockable. In a game where Hamilton went in as the favorites, with all their weapons, and how well Dane Evans had been playing leading up to that big championship game. And wow, Willie Jefferson just shut the door.
There were 2 penalties on that, including the ball that went out of bounds, so it's a re-kick. Better kick from Leggio. There, it looks like no yards. Fumbled football. Hamilton back on top of it, but the flags would likely signal a no yards call. Good kick that time from Leggio. And always downfield quickly. Getting closer to the all-time record for special teams tackles is that special teams demon Mike Miller.
Well, let's take a look at him in his office. And his office is special teams, cover teams. Not the glory returner guys. This is the heart and soul guys. This is the get down the field, fight through it, cause a fumble, get after it, don't stop till you hear the whistle. One of the best special teams players in the last couple of years when it came to covering kicks. Mike Miller is not missing a beat.
Here's Al Bradbury again.
Illegal block. Hamilton, number 28. 10-yard penalty.
So it's an illegal block, not a no yards, and penalties starting to hurt the Cats here in this third quarter. Miller, by the way, 185 career special teams tackles, 5 away from the all-time record set by Jason Araki. Does not have one tonight. Long field for the Cats. Sully's going to change his play. This crowd is loud here. Trouble again for Masoli. Nobody there. Bomber defense is amping it up with that crowd.
Yeah, they are. You know, we showed you Willie Jefferson in his Grey Cup. Jackson Jeffcoat on the other side. He had 2 sacks in the Grey Cup game. So as they tried to make adjustments, Hamilton, to try and slow down Jefferson, that put Jeffcoat, a guy who's grown up with the game, in a one-on-one on his man, and he did some damage.
Those are 2 mighty bookends, Jeffcoat and Jefferson. Here they come. Look out! Ball is down. There's no whistle. The Bombers look like an incomplete pass. That is not a fumble. Maybe we just missed the whistle in the din of the crowd here.
Well, it looked like the arm was moving forward from Jeremiah Masoli, which would mean it's incomplete pass at bounds. So let's take a look. Was it a fumble? I think it's no question his arm's going forward when the ball is released. Combo ends up getting there. Jeffcoat at the top of your screen. Combo on the stunt coming underneath with Jefferson wrapping around outside. And this time it's Congo that gets home.
Whitford from his goal line. Nice kick here for Nelson. Good field position for the Blue Bombers after a 45-yard kick. And great D again from the Big Blue. Well, MLS on TSN continues Saturday as Toronto FC hosts NYCFC at BMO Field. Coverage gets underway 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on TSN. Look forward to some soccer tomorrow. Canada and Sweden. A gold medal in women's soccer.
And Saskatchewan, BC, tomorrow night.
Yes, sir. Gonna be a big day in sports tomorrow.
Well, this Hamilton defense, if you need a play, you look to Jagera Davis. If you need a play, you look to Simone Lawrence. You look to your veterans to step up and try to change momentum, because the special teams play by Miller and a penalty tacked on, 2 plays on defense, and the Bombers moving in to score. Mark Washington needs a play from one of those veterans.
2nd and 5. Collaros goes deep again. Jump ball caught, or is it? No. Incomplete again. Kenny Lawler almost had the hat trick.
Frankie Williams, the corner, the veteran and the returner, plays this outstanding. Back to the fundamentals. Well, a little trash talk. Go ahead. Yeah, that's okay. We got that back. I like seeing that back. But what a play. I mean, keep composed. The guy scored twice already in this game tonight. You're running with him down the sideline. You could see in his eyes that the ball was about to arrive. Played with discipline, didn't interfere, knocked it out of there. They needed a play, and they got one from Frankie Williams.
A little anger, a little hostility. Oh, almost blocked, and it's out of bounds. Jagera Davis did well to stay off the kicker. 29-yard kick. They will pin the Cats here in Winnipeg tonight. Some opening night casualties already. Sarah Oleski with more.
Yeah, Rod, we had 4 in the first half, 3 for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Linebacker Josh Johnson done for the night. So Brandon Alexander, the safety, will take his spot. Noah Hallett, the rookie, will now move in as safety. Janarian Grant, returner, done for the game. Charles Nelson now returning. And then you look on the Hamilton Tiger Cats side, defensive end Lorenzo Malden also will not return.
Well, already some injuries on game 1. Again, long field for Hamilton. 1st and 10, inside their 10. A cluster formation. Trying to swing it out. No go for Brandon Banks. And the Bombers scooping the ball up, but it was a forward pass. It was not a lateral. And Banks is very frustrated and has been frustrated since that opening drive really tonight.
Well, you know, I thought he started the game real well, and then, you know, that penalty he got. Now, we had the commissioner at the time, so we really didn't get into it, where he got the penalty, the 15-yarder for throwing the ball.
He was throwing it to the official.
And
it was hit the other guy in the helmet.
It was a complete mistake, and since then he's been very animated and up and down and excited and talking and frustrated.
Masoli has to shake one and throws again for Acklin, who can't stretch out. Jalen Acklin seems to be the only weapon right now for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And another 2 and out. And once again, pressure on their punter, Joel Whitford, who's going to have to kick out of the end zone. 3rd straight 2 and out, just 1 completion so far in the second half for Hamilton.
Sometimes it's because you're just not executing, but sometimes it's because the defense has decided they've made some adjustments and are getting pressure, and that's really what's happening.
Well, they will take the knee, give up 2 this time. (16-6) the score, 10-point game, lots of time left. Just seems that the Bomber defense has really asserted itself after giving that opening drive touchdown up to Jalen Acklin.
And there's the leadership, just a small example. Everything matters. And when Zach Collaros goes over and says, hey, to Willie Jefferson, gives him a little high five there and says, you know what, you're giving us a chance here to take a jump and to pick it up. Because, you know, the great opening drive by the Hamilton offense, and they looked like they were in sync. But then the defense made some adjustments. Then Willie Jefferson got going. Then he got Jackson Jeffcoat going. Willie Jefferson with that pick, that frustrated Brandon Banks. The pressure on Jeremiah Masoli hasn't forced a whole lot of massive mistakes from the veteran quarterback, but Richie Hall's group has turned it up a notch in this third quarter.
Yeah, have they ever? Cats have been held off the board. You can see Brandon Banks just...
Yeah, he's smoldering. I mean, he is
shaking his head. Jeremiah Masoli, the first drive, threw for 84 yards. Since that time, he's only thrown for 83 yards. They haven't scored since that first drive. Completely different Cat team, completely different Bomber team. Here's Nelson again taking over from Grant. Bombers will set up shop near the 40-yard line.
So now the veteran QB in Collaros, he knows that this is the opportunity to sort of put your foot on the gas pedal and come away this drive with points, and that snowball might roll downhill in a big way. So again, if you're Jeremiah Masoli right now, you're looking at your defense going, come on now, get a quick stop, give us another shot at it. Who makes the play?
Defense pressure from the Bombers. He's also frustrated Masoli. Here's Rivera. 4 or 5 yards. The replacement for Andrew Harris.
Oliveira's, it's a nice debut for him already. No matter how the rest of this game goes, you've seen flashes of what he's capable of. That was a big hit by Cam Kelly coming down to try and stop that run on the line of scrimmage, and he just bounced off that hit.
11 carries, 46 yards for number 20 in the pistol formation. Shotgun for Collaros. Stays into block. Collaros gets hammered. Has to eat it. Former Winnipeg Blue Bomber Von Santos knocks Collaros.
Two guys coming off the edge. You're going to see them both. Santos knocks inside and outside. Linebacker Cam Kelly. Here they come, and you got to choose one as the tailback. Oliveira, it's got to take inside out. Not, hey, one's free. It's pick your poison, but you take the inside out, maybe that outside guy has to bubble a bit, and it gives your quarterback a split second.
Good kick from Legio. Williams dropped 35. Orlando Steinauer trying to get his team back in it. On his way to the Hall of Fame. Sarah has more when we come back. Well, before he became a coach, Orlando Steinauer did a lot of this. One of the best covers in the Canadian Football League. 5-time CFL All-Star, Ottawa, Hamilton, and Toronto. 2-time Grey Cup champion. Orlando Steinauer is also part of the class of 2021. Will be inducted into the Canadian Football Hall of Fame. What an honor. Here is Sarah.
Rod, you mentioned the accolades that he had in that 13-year playing career he had. He said that when he got the call about going into the Hall, he wasn't numb, but it did take a little bit of time for it to be able to set in. He called his family together, and there was a little bit of nervousness because the last time he said that he did that, he told them that they were going down to Fresno State, where he was going to be defensive coordinator back in 2017. But a lot of celebration, obviously. Not why he plays the game, but he was very excited at this opportunity to be able to be acknowledged. I asked Jeremiah Masoli about him, said they've seen video, they know he was a baller out there, but they're so impressed with him as a head coach now and the transition that he's made to be able to get players to buy in, that it's not all about personal accolades, that it's about doing things the right way for team success. They can't say enough good things about their head coach, who will be headed to the Hall of Fame.
Class act, class of 2021 with Will Johnson, Nick Lewis, Don Wilson, Mark Levy, Doug Mitchell, Orlando Steinauer. But right now, those eyebrows are raised for the Cats. This potent offense from a couple of years ago just not clicking right now. Masoli's been off. He's on the roll now, and he's hunted down. Masoli chucking near sideline. Out of bounds, though. struggling Hamilton offense out of the locker room?
Well, you know, I could sit and talk football with Coach Steinauer forever. And you understand his approach to the game when he was a player has translated right over to his approach as a head coach. And, you know, he said this, and I wrote down about 10 quotes after our Zoom call
He's a
this
quote
week.
machine.
Well, it's his DNA. It's not just quotes that he's read out of a book. It's his DNA. And one of them was about building culture. And he said, isn't what you do, it's how you make people feel. And that is exactly what Coach O is all about. Making people feel and understand that they're part of something bigger than themselves, and then going out and doing it together.
If you can't play for Orlando Steinauer and like him as a coach, you can't play. Simple.
Wow.
You know, I mean, he's just one of those guys that you just cling to. You gravitate to. I love what he said also about, you know, to inspire people, you don't need signs or PowerPoints. You know, you lead by example. That's what he has done as a player, now as a head coach. His team down 10, 5 minutes to go, third quarter. Crossing pattern here for Bailey. Big body of Rasheed Bailey. Turns close to the 40-yard line.
So we're rolling down this third quarter, and one thing I'm going to be looking at because of short camps and the long break and getting their game legs underneath them is the stamina of the players heading into the fourth quarter, because that's where it starts to grab your legs a little bit, and that's where maybe we could see some big plays. Some big plays made either way, not just offensively, but maybe on defense, a guy runs out of gas at the wrong time.
Cats need a big defensive play. Collaros now again in trouble, and he's going down again. Zach is sacked. Simone Lawrence finished him off. Santos knocks in on the play once more. And now the Tiger Cat defense is rising up.
You need your playmakers to make a play and to step up. You go to your veterans. Simone gets there. Interesting conversation with him this week as well. And I loved when he said, you know, when you're living in Hamilton, the fans there will tell you what's going on, good or bad.
He's a character and a pillar in that community. Simone wanted to mention today, happy birthday to his sister.
Oh, nice.
Who's in Cleveland watching, and he's going to become an uncle. So he's expecting. Samandi, happy birthday from Simone tonight.
Now you just set a precedent. We're in trouble because now every player is going to tell us that.
Well, I know.
But hey, look at the numbers here for Jeremiah, because well, he got off to that great start, as you mentioned, the 84 yards in that first drive, and it's just sort of disappeared since. Now, how do you get that going? Maybe get your running backs involved. Good success on first down, move the chains.
Yeah, a few little swing passes, something a little shorter too. Here is that draw play. Sully just 1 for 8 in this quarter.
Yeah, it does two things. You get that little run up the middle. First of all, you get your guys up front who have been trying to pass protect against Jeffcoat and Jefferson.
Little huddle, they go quick tempo, likely first down here, gets to the 50.
You get those guys just firing off. So Tommy Condell understands that. I think he's been one of the best coordinators in the league for a long, long time, and worked with so many different head coaches, so many different philosophies, and he's now calling the plays upstairs. And you know, he knows, get that run going, get the O-line firing off and getting some physicality downfield, and you can get your quarterback in a room.
Trying to get number 16 engaged as well. Was early on. Masoli. And down he goes. Masoli is sacked. Casey Sales in on the play again. Ohio Bobcat. Omaha, Nebraska.
Well, he wants to get in on the action. He splits what looked like a double team. Again, the Ticats without Chris Van Zyl.
So second and long. long 18 yards. Pats need an explosive play. But not happening. It's a fumble. It's Winnipeg football. Brandon Banks caught it, got it knocked out. And the end of the play was Jonathan Kongbo on top of the football for the Blue Bombers. And the frustration mounts for Banks.
It's a catch, fumble, first down.
He had it.
Biggie's in there, he gets a hit from the outside. Ball is out. Kongbo scoops it, and the frustration continues for the MOP.
Looked so good for Brandon Banks early in this ball game. It says it all right there.
Every time we out here, man. We out here.
But you know what? I tell you one thing I missed big time. The crowd going nuts like they just did.
Yes.
The defensive play in this house erupts. Man, I missed that.
Crowd may have missed this game too.
Look at this. They're dancing. They're having some fun, and they're hugging each other and high-fiving. Man, can we all just take a big breath and just appreciate that alone for a second? Wow, great to have the game back.
All of these people had to show their proof of vaccination coming in tonight. Everybody is sitting right next to each other. Full house. 2nd and 6. Damski can't hang on. So, you know, said it before, Glenn, about, you know, that fatigue factor that might be creeping in here. Starting to see a couple of those moments.
Well, this is a tougher catch than it looks. I mean, he has to twist all the way back around to come and try and pull that one down. So that was a real tough catch. But you're right. And the thing that goes first offensively is that little bit of lack of concentration when the ball's arriving for receivers. The thing on defense that happens when you hit that fatigue mark is missed tackles.
Maggio again, and a busy night that he's had. Coverage, 4th and final World Golf Championship gets underway Saturday from Memphis, Tennessee, as the world's top golfers compete at the FedEx St. Jude Invitational. Catch the 3rd round beginning at 2 Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific on TSN and CTV2.
Remember I mentioned the Hamilton idea to start maybe running the ball a little bit. It's one thing to say it, and it's another thing to execute it against a defense that in 19, #1 in the league, they gave up less than 65 yards a game along the ground. And the core of it is back.
Soling, slant, Ackland, did he get it? Officials coming in and saying it was a catch. It's been a big hole every possession for Hamilton. Shadows of their goalposts.
Hamilton going tempo.
Yeah, they're going tempo because Mike O'Shea just threw the challenge flag. He looked at it that was up on the scoreboard. That was the crowd reacting when they saw it.
Yeah, Masoli tried to get him to the line quick to try and snap the ball before O'Shea could throw the challenge flag.
Winnipeg is challenging the previous play of a completed pass, feeling it's incomplete. We're about to review.
Crowd saw it and reacted, and O'Shea saw it too, and then, yep.
Yeah, that's no catch.
No catch. Nose of the ball. Hitting the turf.
You can't use the ground to assist you in catching the ball, so Ackland's hands would have to be underneath the football to rule that a catch. So a good challenge in game 1 from Michael O'Shea.
1 of 4 this weekend on TSN to start a season that we had hoped would start last year and did not. Delayed. Waited a long time for it to happen, and here we are tonight. This shouldn't take long.
After review, the ruling on the field has been overturned to an incomplete pass. second down and 10.
This has been a struggle for the Cats moving the football in the second half. They've been inside their 20-yard line for the better part of it offensively. Furthest they've been is their 50-yard line. Now to Banks. Some redemption here, and he's still kind of clutching that area. And he was hit in that first half. So Brandon Banks makes the catch on the final play of the third quarter, heading to the fourth in Winnipeg. Blue Bombers leading 16-6 on opening night in the Canadian Football League. Rematch of the 2019 Grey Cup. Bombers, like in 2019, leading the way right now. Cats scored in the first possession tonight here at IG Field in the return of the CFL back in Canada. And since that time, it's been all Winnipeg Blue Bombers. It has been all Canadian football and its return tonight. That opening, this whole night, man, have we ever missed this?
Yeah, special night, emotional night. Great to see the game back on the field. Great to see the fans in the stands. And every time I hear a big play, Winnipeg makes a big play, and I hear that crowd erupt, man, it sends
chills.
Shivers. Yeah, it's chills. And I don't be over dramatic, but it's been a long time.
It can be.
The country needs this.
Yeah. Here comes the blitz off the edge. Masoli throwing far side again, and once again, Brandon Banks back to back here.
Well, I think the bottom line with Brandon Banks, at times he will get frustrated, and we've seen it before. And it's important, I think it's essential for Jeremiah Masoli to keep with him, keep going at it. And he knows it. He's going to 7 catches. He's going to keep working it and making sure he's not going to eliminate him because he's frustrated. He's slow to get up again. Something else.
He's their best player. He's the MOP.
Exactly.
You got to go to him, but he was nicked up in that first half. Masoli play action. The guy who started the night off, Ackland. Didn't get much. Maybe 2. Almost 3 yards for Ackland. And a bruising night here. CFL returns to play.
Now, I'm sure Jeremiah Masoli wants to see if he can test that change in the secondary with Alexander coming up and Halleck playing safety, but he's not getting enough time to go after the safety.
He had loads of time in the first half. Here comes the house again. Look out, Masoli on the roll and throws a dart. And it's incomplete for Ungerer.
That's all.
Some chirping going on down there.
Well, maybe over 600 days ago, but that rivalry is still there. These are two teams in the Grey Cup. They're chirping. They're
great on the numbers to make that catch. It was a first down. The drive continues. It won't. Busy first game for the Aussie as well. Bounces down to Nelson. He's going to wait, try to draw no yards.
You can't be holding! Tell him he can't be holding! Hey, we the best in the West. Y'all gotta come through us now.
This is your last year playing football. I'm glad that you're having a good time. Nobody's gonna want you, bruh. I'm sorry.
CFL Wired. Tuesday, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. You hear the sights and sounds from week 1 of the delayed 2021 season. And when those mics are on. Hole opening up for Oliveira again. Continues to rack up the yardage, 60 yards. Family liking it. President of the fan club.
Well, it's really exciting coming in and getting that first start for the family and everybody else, and I'm sure that it was a lot of butterflies, but Oliveira, he's settled in now. He is doing his thing. And what I've noticed right out of the gate, tremendous vision right at the point of attack. He's made some nice cuts right at the point.
Polaris fakes the inside pitch and incomplete. By the way, that was the first down for Winnipeg in this second half. So the defense is really rising up.
Yes, they have. They have. They've made some adjustments. But now the challenge for Oliveira is to continue to grow. So we've seen him run the ball quite well. You know, when you took a look at those two blitzers, when he maybe probably should have taken the inside guy, not the outside guy. That'll be an adjustment that he'll make. And now how does he catch the ball? Because they're going to need him to do that too.
Delayed draw for Oliveira. Pumping those legs now. First down for the Winnipeg Kid.
See, that's what I mean about his vision. I mean, he can. That play was supposed to go V-gap between guard and tackle, the gap between the left guard and the left tackle here, but he sees it at the point of attack. You see him right in the middle of your screen there, number 20. Now he's going to make that cut. He's got a big hole at the line. Now watch this one. Stiff arm, push out. He probably learned that from Andrew Harris, one of the best stiff arm players, running backs in the game. So, you know, we've seen a lot of the magic when it comes to running the ball. Now, the next progression is catching it out of the backfield.
There's Harris watching tonight. Trying to get healthy, trying to get back in the lineup. We haven't seen the Andrew Harris high hurdle yet from Brady Oliveira. Never know.
Could be in there, yeah.
Yeah, might be part of the repertoire. Stribling is down on the far side as he is down. We'll step aside here on opening night. A beautiful night in Winnipeg.
Everybody knows we got relationship goals. Oh, got relationship goals.
More changes on that D-line for the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Dylan Wynn is out at this point, and Mason Bennett has taken over for him in the interior. Dylan Wynn coming off that career best year. Looks like Desmond Lawrence playing the secondary as well.
Stribling, and look at that cut by the kid. Oliveira again.
Vision. Man.
88-yard suits.
It's great to watch. It's just an outstanding cut, and this is just instinct and seeing the hole just before it opens. That bounce to the outside. Simone Lawrence had plugged the hole and stepped up in there. And Oliveira, let's see how's mom. Is mom happy? Oh yeah, there you go.
Jersey sales might be increasing by the end of the night. Family and friends. A few more. 100 yards from scrimmage. 12 away from 100 on the ground. Almost got it right there. There's a flag in the backfield.
I think that one may be coming back. Simone Lawrence stepped up and was tackled right at the line of scrimmage. Didn't catch the number of the offensive lineman, but well, maybe it's not. What did the officials say?
Illegal block, blocking below the waist. Hamilton, number 21.
Wow,
Penalty will be declined. Play results in a first down.
Add that almost 100 yards now. Simone Lawrence penalized.
You can't go low. And Lawrence, that's why it looked like he was tackled. The O-lineman was on top of him because he cut him out at the knee.
Now one of the greatest Canadian running backs ever on the sideline for the Blue Bombers, watching his apprentice, who's 1 yard away from 100. 100 and counting for Brady Oliveira.
In an effort to make the game safer, Rod, you're going to see, we're going to go back to that Simone Lawrence penalty. And basically, in football, you want to take the low hits out of the game. And that's been the driving force and rule changes. And Simone goes down, the pulling guard coming around, and he's just going to go right down low. And that's why it looked like he got tackled and pulled down. That's what I thought was the holding call.
About. 21's outside, comes in, he can't block down like that.
Well, I can hear them talking on the sideline.
Well, Simone Lawrence was outside of the box, that tackle box, the line of scrimmage, and then came into it and went low.
Here comes the house. There goes the ball. And Nelson inside the 10.
What was the spread tonight? Nice throw by Zach. And look at the time in the pocket he has. Oliveira in there stepping up. He has his man. He's helping out where he needs to be. Again, there's sort of a checklist of things you go through to make sure that the running back is doing all that he's supposed to do. That was a nice block.
Oliveira stays in. There's Nelson again. This is the first trip into the red zone inside the 20-yard line for either team tonight. And that says a lot, speaks a lot about the defense in this game. Keeping teams away from moving footballs inside that 20-yard line. Winnipeg's threatening right now, 9th play of the drive. They designed something here for the local product. It's over 100 yards on the ground. Polaris going to change and flags fly.
Procedure. Winnipeg, number 66, 5-yard penalty. Remain second down.
Stanley Bryant knows it. And this play, I'm just going to guess here. I'm going to guess because we didn't see the play run. But by that reaction from Andrew Harris, that was a running play to Brady, and Brady was going to, he was looking for his backup tailback who's starting tonight to score. And Stanley Bryant got the procedure call, so push him back.
Second and goal. Polaris. Here comes the heat. And caught. Short of the goal line, it's been Lawler. Kenny Lawler, 2 touchdowns tonight. Most outstanding rookie for Winnipeg 2 years ago. Polaris wincing. Field goal unit comes out.
But hey, both teams been pretty good in the penalty department tonight. There's been a couple, but you can see the impact that even a little 5-yard procedure penalty can have on your team.
Time.
You're on the doorstep, ready to walk in or go and score. And the procedure call pushes you back. Got a good pass rush. It's 3rd down, and you're kicking a field goal rather than the major.
Tyler Krapina. Point afters that were good tonight. A little chippy here from a bit of an awkward angle, but he will bury that. First field goal as a Winnipeg Blue Bomber. They extend the lead. Champs unveil their banner, and they have the lead tonight in Winnipeg. Midway through the 4th quarter, Cats down. They need Brandon Banks, who got hurt on this play early on by Nick Taylor. And then this, as he was throwing it to the official, that was a complete accident, but just has not been able to get unglued.
Well, yeah, he's taken a couple of hits, been a little bit banged up and slow to get up a couple of times. We've seen the frustration, but he is still their playmaker. And there is lots of time, and he is explosive.
He is Brandon Banks. We've seen him do it before. Changes games. It was a awkward play. The way it stopped and started. There was a communication issue. Not a couple of yards on the play. Clock ticking. Not in the favor for Hamilton. They need a score. They got to get some points. Have not been on the board since the opening drive when they looked electric. And knocked down again, Sean Thomas Erlington. This does not look like that team, Cats team that led in most offensive categories back when we last saw you in 2019.
One of the things that happens with a quarterback, even a veteran quarterback, when you get that pressure over a couple of quarters, your timing and you're not just quite as comfortable in that pocket. And that was a throw. There was hands across and coverage in the area short of a first down, and Masoli couldn't make it happen.
Charles Nelson, the return. Winnipeg 19-6, the Manitoba Capital. We have liftoff tonight and tomorrow night. Lions Riders at Mosaic. Argos Stamps Saturday doubleheader, and the Edmonton Elks. Love that new look. Love the logo. And the Ottawa Redblacks.
How about the helmets? I'm a fan of the helmets.
Yeah, big time.
With the elk horns up there.
Yes, big time. Big fan of this shot tonight too. High over IG Field. Blue Bomber fans enjoying this one tonight. 19-6. What a night it's been for this young man. The only thing they'd like to cap it off with, I'm sure, if they can get Brady Oliveira his first CFL touchdown. I think that was the MO in that last drive. Didn't quite work out. Over 100 yards rushing. His first start. 110. 5.5 to go. He put more points up here, and they might be able to put that W in the column. And a wrap to this one. Again, Oliveira just running over that Cat front line.
Well, we got to start giving credit where credit's due. So you start with the big boys up front, because they're creating the holes for Oliveira to get that 100 yards. And this is against Jagarrett Davis, Dylan Wynn for most of the game. So you got Couture at the center, Pat Neufeld, Jamarcus Hardrick, and Stanley Bryan outside. Drew Desjardins in the guard position. And we haven't talked. Jagarrett Davis got that sack just before the half. We haven't talked a lot about him, and that is a dominant football player in our league.
Here he goes again. That time, nowhere. That was a necessary tackle that time.
Santos
Knox again. And now a big play. Cats need to stop here if they have any chance.
You know, 4 years in the league for Santos Knox, and I asked Simone Lawrence about how that combination between him and Lawrence is going. He said, hey, we compete to get to the football. It's going to be a race. They need to get there in a hurry on this play.
They've gone to Oliveira a lot. 2nd and 9. Do they go to the air here? Collaros trying to extend this drive. He will. Collaros takes off up the middle, right at the midfield stripe, the 55-yard line, and the Bombers will indeed be stopped and will have to kick the ball. The Cats are going to have to find a way to get this ball into the end zone. We are still not done here, even though Winnipeg has really dominated.
That was an edge blitz from the secondary and Jamal Roll that forced Collaros up into the middle. Coach O needed the play there, and outside pressure was picked up, but It forced Collaros to run.
Mark Leggio on legs. Shortish kick. It's a good bounce. Oh, couple of great bounces. Look at that. Frankie Williams can only pick it up and try to get a couple yards. And once again, another very long field. 48-yarder for the rookie. What a night for another kid. Century mark and more. Local product. Winnipeg born and raised. Brady Oliveira coming up big tonight for the Blue Bombers. Two minutes and 39 seconds remain in the fourth quarter, and the defending Grey Cup champions would have another win over their nemesis from the East in the 2019 Grey Cup, Jeremiah Masoli, who didn't play in that game. Off to a great start here tonight, but since that time, Cats have been held empty and not caught. Needed an explosive play. They need something here. Marcus Tucker can't come up with it.
You know, he had a shot. He was on the post route deep, and he got in behind the safety. And this is what we talked about with that change with Brandon Alexander coming down to the linebacker and Hallett having to go play safety. Could Jeremiah Masoli test him? That's just a drop pass and a chance for a big, big play to give him some hope through the hands.
Couple of drops in the second half. Must make here. Cats are playing three-down football. Masoli telling people to come back. Close to the first down marker for Tucker. This time hangs on. I'm not sure they're going to give him the first down, or will they? And they are a little bit shy, so third down. Bring in a couple of big bodies, get the first down, and you never know. It is the CFL.
Oh, hey.
Anything can happen.
Whoa.
We've seen it here in this building.
Yeah, you can score 3 times in 2 minutes.
Yes, you can. In case you forgot that over the last 620 days. It's the Canadian Football League. Boy, Masoli needed a little extra push. He got it. Tough night for some players. Banged up. Number of injuries.
Mentioned different guys' offices. Tackle to tackle. This is Big Hill's office. Look at Big Hill. Biggie going right over the top.
Prior to the snap, Winnipeg called timeout. Perfect, thanks.
Adam Bighill, just as his coach says, he's just a stud. The guy who's most outstanding defensive player. Think about his life, how he juggles. He does so much community work and charity work. He's a doting dad. He is one of the greatest players this league has seen in a long time. Constantly on. He's busy in the financial sector on a day-to-day basis. And he is one of those leaders here.
Yeah, you don't want to switch daytimers with Adam Bighill.
Okay, 64.
I don't know how he does that in 24 hours, but he gets a lot out of it.
Well, he leads too. I mean, you can tell. Look at him talk to his teammates. I mean, this is all the time, making sure they're all right, making sure they know their assignments, getting them fired up, and then he locks in. Now he just goes through his reads, the snap of the ball, execute assignment.
Masoli will get the first down after the timeout that was called. 2:15, but Hamilton needs something explosive. And some speedy personnel now. Jalen Marshall comes in. Likely going to see some Acklin trying to free Speedy B. There's Marshall here, 7. Taking off as well. Here comes the rush off the edge, and Masoli had to throw it away incomplete. Otherwise, he was going down and would have been sacked.
Good work across line
And that was Jackson Jeffcoat going inside, and he makes an inside move here on tape. Watch him step up the field and then cut inside, and he gives all kinds of problems to Masoli. Jim Jeffcoat, the Dallas Cowboy, his father grew up with the game. I mentioned him a couple of times as a bookend to Willie, but he could lead a defense all by himself. Thank you very much.
Hanging around those locker rooms, championship locker rooms. Masoli still out of time, delivers though, and Tucker went backwards, and actually maybe the lunge will get him the first down. Looks like it will. If they mark it right there, they'll move the sticks.
Get a man that size, 6'3", just shy of 260, to be able to move his feet and his arms. Look at how quickly he got back up off that one knee, got kind of slipped on the edge, got back up, got back in the fight.
Minute 50 to go. All the Bombers are giving them is something underneath, like this. There's Thomas Erlington staying on his feet, lunging again. That should be another first down, but the clock is the enemy right now for the Cats. They have to score here. Need an onside kick and more. Going to find the end zone in a hurry. Frustrating night for the offense. 4 receivers to the right. Here comes Kongbo. Nice grab by Jalen Marshall. Short of a first down, but at the 55-yard line. Quickly line up once more. Masoli's first game in a couple of years. Look out, Masoli. Acklin hauls it in, first down again. Need up 11 more seconds.
You know, we talked to Coach O before the game in our Zoom calls about that competition between Dane Evans. I just want to revisit it because, you know, Coach Steinauer was adamant in telling us that he talked to Masoli, and I'm sure some Hamilton fans said, hey, when the offense struggles, should they have made a change? Because you basically have 2 starters.
Oh, picked off. That'll be the ball game. And down the sideline goes the newcomer, Jontrell Rockamore.
Rockham sock him, threw it right to him.
Yes, it was. Back paddling to his left, and that back pedal. Second pick of the night. And the rookie, the Rock, Rockamore, has his first CFL interception. An easy one to boot.
He had Willie Jefferson in his face, and Masoli, because of that, couldn't see or throw it around him, and throws it right to Rockamore, takes it down the sideline. You know, again, Coach Steinauer didn't want a Masoli that was looking over his shoulder if he had some issues. You remember that first interception in the first half by Willie Jefferson, another key play. A smart move.
Well, they'll have a lot of Brady Oliveira likely here. Maybe try to punch one home for the kid.
Well, let's take a look at the debut. I mean, this is pretty impressive. 21 carries, 120 yards. Nice, fat 6.5-yard average. And I can't tell you the level of nerves he must have been going through. I mean, everybody remembers that first game, you know, regardless of how you do good or bad in the game, and the mistakes you made and the production you create. But when you walk on the field, you don't feel like you're feeling your feet in the first game. And in your first start. And Oliveira, you know, jumpy at the beginning, settled in, 120 yards rushing.
Bombers will put this away as they did the Grey Cup. 2nd and 6, Oliveira once more. You know, you're looking at that clock. Maybe give it to him one more time, but you really don't have to. Likely won't find the end zone. That kid said before this game he was going to be pumped up. He'll never forget it. Think about the last time he was in a home opener and played. He did not start. A couple of years ago, broke his leg.
Right.
What a difference a couple of years make for Brady Oliveira. And a guy I'm sure he's looked up to. As a young player, Andrew Harris, the Bombers indeed will not take it to the house. There was no comeback tonight in this ball game in a league that's full of exciting comebacks. But partner, this was one of the biggest comebacks in CFL history. Coming back and playing tonight.
Great appreciation for the game, for being able to gather, cheer for your team, cheer for your colors. Crowd was absolutely awesome tonight here in Winnipeg. Boy, it's great to have football back. And maybe it can help and just take a little step in bringing our whole country together.
Together is the theme. That's what the Blue Bombers did tonight. Hamilton scored early and never scored another point after that. It was all Winnipeg. Kenny Lawler, a pair of touchdowns. Zach Collaros, the Hall of Famers meet. They'll meet again. The rematch of the 2019 Grey Cup. The Bombers put 19 on the board. And the opener of 2021. The CFL is back. Man, is it great to be back. The league returns. More football this weekend. Bombers win. The champs are back. The banner is up. And a new season has begun. And isn't it sweet? Good night, everybody, from Winnipeg. Here comes SportsCenter.